Okay, welcome back to another 4-day of eating, everyone. I'm going to be taking you through the day, everything that I'm eating at the moment to preserve and build muscle whilst trying to combine lifting and a little bit of running as well. So on top of that, I'm going to show you everything that I do on my meal prep to make sure I don't miss a single meal, and it's what I've been doing for years. So stay tuned for that. First up, we've got breakfast, so let's get straight into it. So first meal is going to be 3 hard-boiled eggs with some sourdough, but the hack for these is if you've got an air fryer and you can't be bothered trying to like monitor the eggs in the water, you just want to leave the eggs and go and do other stuff. A hack I've got is put the eggs in the air fryer, 150 degrees for 10 or 11 minutes. I do 11 to be sure, and then once that's done, straight into cold water and they come out perfectly. I've been doing this for ages now, and it's such a good trick. Sauce choice is always going to be sriracha. So I'm going to have this now, obviously. I'm then actually going to go straight to train. It's quite early. It's currently a heat wave in the UK. I find it so funny when we call it that, but it is hot. Like, it is really hot. So the mornings are the best time to go get the gym out of the way before it gets too hot. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to have this. Something else after, go to the gym, and then I'm going to train some upper, and then we'll be back. I'll see you back here for post-workout. This is such an easy, like, quick meal. It literally takes, like I said, like 10 minutes, the eggs in the air fryer, and then you just do the toast at the same time, and it's just all onto the plate, easy. You can get on with your day. I'm going to show you a different option that I make for days where I don't want to cook at all, which is why I'm going to be meal prepping, which are the busier days that I've got for work. I've got a different meal one option. It's an overnight oats, which I'll show you later on in the video when I do the meal prep. So I'm gonna eat this and yeah, move on. Pre-workout was going in, decided to have it out in the sun because, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have just an espresso. I've decided to just keep it to my breakfast, what I've had, and not have anything else. So I'll just have this because it's still quite early. I'm gonna go and train some upper body in the gym. I've been training out of anyone who follows the channel will know in there is my home gym. But I've been training out there for like the past week because the weather's been so nice. But it's about time I go to a proper gym again. So yeah, upper body, and then when I get back, I'll show you what I'm having post-workout. And then I believe I'm going to be getting my meal prep underway as well. So let's go. Right, back from the gym, great session. It's now time for a post-workout meal. So I'm going to show you what I'm having, which is already prepared down here. So we've got really easy, fast digesting carbs. So we've got, I'm going to have 4 rice cakes, half banana. Then I'm going to have some peanut butter and some honey on there. Easily digestible and, like I said, fast acting carbs. This is actually a post-workout meal that I started giving my clients a while back, and they all absolutely love it. They genuinely like make a point of telling me how much they love it. And it was just one that I used to enjoy because it was easy and it was, you know, it was quick and it was perfect. I didn't have to cook anything or whatever. And yeah, since giving it to some of my clients, because they'd seen it on my story, it's just had like a snowball effect, and now all of them want it. So yeah, it's great. Let's get us prepared. I have washed my hands after the gym, by the way. If you don't wash your hands after the gym and then you're handling food, have a word with yourself. So I am gonna actually weigh these bits. So we've got squeezy honey, game changer. Gonna be doing 10 grams of that. Oh, so that sound and that smell triggers this to happen. That is hilarious. Right, where was I before my dog decided to join? And then we're gonna go 10 grams of honey. Oh, 11 grams. So quite literally one of the most unaesthetic meals you'll see, but somehow my clients love it and I love it. So I'm gonna have this right now. All right, so it's time for meal prep. Here are all the components I'm going to be using for the meal prep. So I'm going to get into it. It can feel like quite a lengthy process, but I allocate Wednesdays and Sundays where I've got a bit more time to do my 2 lots of meal prep, and then that way I've got meals throughout the week. So yeah, there really is no excuses. If you've got like a free hour and a bit, once or twice a week, pretty easy to get it done. So let's get into it. So this is this can be what will be my lunch meal. So I call it a hot honey taco bowl. I didn't make that name up actually. It's on TikTok and stuff. So it's going to be like mince, sweet potato, avocado, cottage cheese, some honey with chili flakes. All right, next up, I'm going to show you how I'm seasoning my chicken. So main one's going to be this here, which is a lemon and herb style seasoning. Because this is going to go with, I'm not explaining, it's going to go with pesto orzo. So I don't want to just do traditional chicken seasoning. So a bit of salt, of course. Then we're going to go with some pepper. Looks a little bit gross, but I'm showing you the full process. A little bit of garlic again. Not too much though. Like a lot. And then some of the lemon herb. I've shown these seasonings before in my videos, this brand, but I just I was in the shop today and I was just realised how much they actually cost. I must have just not been looking at the price. It's like almost £4 for a seasoning. It's ridiculous. So yeah. Right, that's that. Gonna get them into the air fryer. That's gonna be sort of the main bit of the proteins done. And I'll be getting on with the rest of it. Right, so next up, we're going to be chopping up the sweet potatoes that are going to go in the mince bowl. So I've microwaved these to make them soft. I'm going to peel them because especially when prepping, I'm not a fan of of how the skin of the sweet potato stays. Alright, next up I'm going to prepare like a bit of a salsa to go with the minced meal. So I'm going to chop up some cherry tomatoes, add in some sweet corn, and then what I think is delicious is instead of adding like chopped fresh red onion, I'm going to add some of these, which are pickled red onions. Let's get to it. And there is meal prep done. So like I said, 4 meals for 4 days, easy to reheat, and yeah, it doesn't go sort of icky. That's the maximum amount of time I'll prep for, because any more than 4 days I start to go off the meals a little bit. We've got overnight oats, we've got yogurt bowl, then the hot honey taco bowl. So it's got mint, sweet potato, salsa, guacamole, cottage cheese, hot honey, and then a chicken pesto orzo with Parmesan. So I'm really hungry, and this is going to feature now in the full day of eating, because I'm going to eat some of these. There we go. Alright, finally time to eat. Just completed all the prep, of course, meal prep, but yeah, it's time to actually have a meal now, because I am ravenous. I've already showed it really, but yeah, we've got orzo in there with pesto, we've got peas and courgettes, chicken breast, and a little bit of some shavings of Parmesan, and that's going to be lunch. Would be rude to not do a taste test, wouldn't it? I know exactly what it's going to taste like. You can't beat it, honestly. Orzo is a great just a great food, to be honest, especially when you're prepping it. It cooks really quickly. It's exactly the same as pasta. Obviously, it is pasta. It cooks really quickly, and yeah, it keeps really well, of course, because it's pasta. So let's get it in. So finally, I get to bring these out. A little bit unrelated to the 4-day of eating, but I also have a life, so you know I've got to film other bits. Anyone who's been following the channel will know with my running, and like I mentioned, I combine running and training in the gym. I was en route to complete my first half marathon, and everything was on track, everything was going well, and then I started to develop a bit of an injury, and that injury was caused from sort of like overpronation, just basically my foot going inward too much, and so that caused problems with my ankle, and then it caused problems with my knee and my IT band more specifically. So it was an absolute nightmare. Basically, it made me stop running, and I think it's been maybe about a month and a half where I've not been able to run. So anyway, did a lot of research, did a lot of work on strengthening the areas that I need to through leg training, and then through a lot more mobility and stretching. And I also got these. So I did my research and realized obviously that there's been a lot of people who suffer from similar, and then these actual insoles are meant to help because they sort of stabilize the way that your foot lands by adding a little bit more cushioning here rather than on the outside. So yeah, we're going to get these trimmed because they're currently massive, and then I'm going to try them in the new shoes, which by the way are the Vaporfly. Are they the Vaporflies? Yeah, Vaporflies. So these are sort of, they're carbon plated, and they're the ones that I will use for the half marathon. So yeah. Oh, and obviously the point that I'm making, because it's a double training day, I'm going to go to the track and try to reintroduce running again. So let's see. Right, so here is the pre-workout. We've got the overnight oats, which I like to call the Snicker oats, because there is in there obviously oats, chocolate protein, got peanut butter, dates for sort of that caramel vibe, and then some dark chocolate on there. So really not sure how this is going to go, but I'm going to give it a good go, that's for sure. There's always going to be a little bit of stress with an injury, because it's not necessarily the pain, it's more like, am I going to just make this worse and then I'm going to be out for even longer than I have been, you know? This angle makes me look like a little dwarf. I'm actually 6'7". Alright, run complete. I'll put it up here somewhere, 5k around the track. I know 5k is nothing, especially when I've been preparing for a half marathon, but to say that I couldn't run more than 1k a few weeks ago without pain and having to stop is pretty cool. I didn't stop once there. It was a 5k continuous around the track. Did it in a decent time, and like I said, the main thing's no pain, so that's good. We'll keep testing it and see how I get on, but for now I actually sweated quite a lot, as you can tell. Look at my face. I'm one of those people that goes a bit red when they run, but wow, that's like a new level. Yeah, fitness levels have dropped though, that's for sure. So it's been 7.5 weeks, like 2 months since running. Humantra, what the f, and they can't even produce something that's got a tearaway. There we go, kind of. Yeah, fitness levels have really sort of dropped. It was a struggle, but I didn't stop once, so that's positive. Anyway, electrolytes going in, and by the way, I'm not one of those people who wakes up and just has an electrolyte right away. I'm not hating on anyone who does, by the way, and I've said this a few times, but when you wake up, you've not been profusely sweating and losing salt and minerals through your sweat. If you have been, then you've got other problems, but when you wake up, you don't need to replenish that salt. Right now, I've lost a lot of sweat. It was a warm day. And so yeah, I'm getting that salt back into the system. This is the only time I'll ever really have electrolytes, is if I've actually sweated properly. I wouldn't have it after the gym. I don't sweat much in the gym. I'll have it after usually my sort of cardio work. So anyway, got this, and I'll see you back home for the next meal. Alright, time for dinner. I'm sure you can probably guess what it is, sorry, as you've watched my meal prep. But I'm going to show you anyway, because it's a full day of eating. This is the meal. So we've got lean mince, we've got sweet potato. Is that in focus? I can never tell. Sweet potato. I've made like a little salsa, which is just literally sweet corn, chopped tomatoes, some pickled red onion that you saw probably earlier in the video, got avocado, and then cottage cheese with honey.